This discussion is going to be about improving the images on your screen during presentations. We have had some members or visitors, I'm not sure which, leave during presentations recently, and they said it was because they couldn't see the screen or couldn't hear. I'm going to try to offer some tips about how to improve the visibility of things on the screen for folks like that. If you're doing a live presentation, quite often you can change the size of the text and anything else on your screen as you go along. Here's an example. Supposing we go to Devices and Printers in my control panel, and supposing you're talking about something like this. Now, if this whole thing were presented up on the screen, I doubt that people could read what those numbers were. However, if I hold down my control key and scroll up with my mouse wheel and then move over to the right and scroll more with my mouse wheel, I can get that pretty big. And that might show up well enough on the screen. However, there are some screens where you can't do that. For example, if I just go to Control Panel and click some item on Control Panel, it would be pretty hard if this entire screen were presented on the big screen using a projector. It would be pretty hard to read these lines. And if I hold down the control key and move my mouse wheel here, doesn't do a thing. Now, you may have noticed in the last section of this presentation that the camera seemed to zoom in on certain portions of the screen that I was recording. That is because I'm using Camtasia 6, and the later versions of Camtasia have a feature called Pan and Zoom, which automatically zooms in on a portion of the screen you're looking at as judged by your cursor. So if I move my cursor over here and just circle around this area, Camtasia is going to zoom in on that area. If I zoom over the whole screen, it's going to zoom back out and show the whole screen. Now let's talk about some display improvements that are built into your computer. And of course, it depends on the version of Windows you're using. I'm using Windows 7. In Windows 7, I can go to Display in Control Panel, and if I click there, I will get an option of changing the size of text and other items on your screen from normal, 100%, which is the default, to medium. If you change it, you have to restart your computer to apply it. And every time after that you start your computer, it will come up with the new size of type and other items on your screen. There is another way to change the visibility on your computer. If you go to your Start menu and go to All Programs and look for Accessories, and click that folder. Underneath there, you will find a couple of items. One is Ease of Access. When you click that,
always in this section,
you get some options. Make the computer easier to see. That takes you back to the last place I was showing you, the 100%, 125%. There's another thing called Magnifier, which you can start from here, or you can go back to Accessories and ease of use, ease of access, and you can go directly to Magnifier. When you do that, you will find that you can magnify in a several different ways. You can magnify various portions of your screen. Right now, I have this set to magnify where I put the cursor. So if I want to look at the display section over here, I can hover over the display and it makes that bigger. And at the same time, I can change this from 200% to 300%. And then when I just hover over display, it makes it even bigger. Let's talk about some other ways that you can use Magnifier. Here's the Magnifier box that comes up. And if you click the little drop down next to Views, you have several choices. One is the lens, which is what I'm showing you now, where you can magnify portions of this, and you can adjust just how big this box is. That's done here with the gear. It gives you a window that allows you to change the size of this box by this thing here and this thing here. And now we have a magnifying window which is almost the size of the whole screen. But let's put that back the way it was. You just have to fool with these things to find out how they work. There we are. And now we're going to click OK so that that goes away. And we go back, as I said, to Views. And we have right now the lens. Another option is docked. When you do that, you have at this magnification that is selected on the magnifier window, which is now 200%, you have the ability to put up at the top of your screen whatever portion of the whole screen you choose to select with your mouse cursor. The third option is full screen. When you do that, your entire screen is magnified to showing this magnifier right here. The magnifying glass is on the screen just to make sure that you know that that's where you are. And if you are recording, as I am, a Camtasia video, and you don't have the zoom and pan capabilities of Camtasia 6, you can use this 200% or 300% or whatever you wish. It hasn't changed to 300%. I think that's difficult to do. You can't change this. When you're recording, I don't think you can make a change in Magnifier. At any rate, those are some of your options. There, now we're at 300%, and it is really big. And whatever you had on your screen, I'm going to go change to some other another page that I happen to be looking at or happen to have up on my computer at the moment. You can really, even when recording, you can really increase the size of the type on your screen. So if you have a full screen running and you bring up something on that screen that is fairly small, and you want your people to be able to see what you're trying to show them, especially text that is this size, you would be well advised to keep Magnifier on your Start menu and to turn it on when you need it, perhaps to set it to full screen or whatever works for you, and be able to greatly magnify the things that your viewers are trying to squint to see.